Welcome to the Audacious Empires podcast. I'm your host, Leanne Waugh, business integrator and founder of Audacious Empires. Each week, my crew and I will be exploring all things building and scaling an extraordinary business. This podcast is here to share how multi-six and seven-figure entrepreneurs can step out of daily business operations and slide into being CEO, expanding your reach and increasing your impact. Learn how to build your team the right way, create smart systems, and get the support you need to keep growing. It's time to get out of the doing and become the thought leader and world-class empire builder that you are. Hello, my empire building friends. I hope you are having a fabulous day. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the Audacious Empires podcast. Today, we are talking how to boost your business productivity by managing your people better. I'm an online business manager and I'm a business integrator. So I have worked with teams of all shapes and sizes. I've also been in all different size businesses. Little caveat, when I was, how old was I? 21. I was working for a big ASX listed company that was all about R&D, and I was on the news. My beautiful, glorious reception desk and my face was on the news. Was it about me? No. But I did get a really good glimpse into how that whole operation worked, the size and scale of it. And I have gotten insight into little one-man businesses, one-man show empires, all kinds, and everything in between. Here's the beautiful thing about teams. Really, it doesn't matter how big or little they are. They all consist of one core thing: people. So if we can manage our people better, our whole team will work better. When our whole team works better, ding, 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 our business is more productive. Our business starts to meet its goals easier. We start to work smarter and not harder. We're happier and things can start to get really fun. So we know that we need a team that's working cohesively. We know that we need to be giving our team all of the inputs they need to create the outputs we want. But how do we do that? I am going to give you 8 simple steps you can follow that will change your team and how your team operates pretty much overnight. And it's not hard. So let's dive in. The first of these steps is to focus on the big picture. What is our purpose? We want to communicate with our team what we are doing and why we are doing it. We want everything that happens in our business to connect back to our big mission. We're doing this because all of these activities that all of our departments, that all of our team members are doing tie back into this mission, this reason. This is why we put this level of effort in. We want to get our team on board and feeling like they are contributing and they matter to what we're trying to achieve with this business. This goes down to the lowest person on your org chart to the person sitting right at the top. Every single person needs to be connected back in and know the impact that they are helping to create. That will only happen if you include them in what that vision is, in what the impact is, in how their role is helping to achieve that. They will be far more effective at their jobs. They will be far more committed, and they will understand the context of what they're doing if you do that. So that is step 1. Include them. Share your big picture. Share your progress. Make them feel like they're part of it. Step 2, skillful briefing. So often I see businesses that are struggling and finding it hard to get their team to do what they need to do without being hand-holded without being micromanaged because the briefing is a little bit off. Now, briefing can be an art in itself, but what we need to consider, firstly, when we are briefing a team and the people within that team, is the what. Here is what I want you to do it. Here is what I want you to do. And explaining that and explaining it in detail where detail is relevant. Using half sentences or not explaining what you're after properly, not explaining the outcome you're looking for, and then having them come back to you and explain it back, confirming that they understand what it is that you're expecting. That's where it all falls over. If you don't get that bit right, you have people working towards different things. There's never going to be alignment if we're not on the same page to begin with. So if you spend lots of time on anything when it comes to your people, spend it doing better briefs. Help your team feel equipped so that they start something feeling confident, like they know what's expected and they know what they're trying to achieve. Because if they start to wobble from the get-go because they're a little bit confused, they're not quite clear, they are never going to get as good as a result as what they could have, because they're going to be second guessing. They're going to be questioning. Things are going to take longer. That is not what we want. So skillful briefing, part 1. Focus on what and be clear. The third step is to anchor that brief. So what and why always come together. Why is all about anchoring that brief. Why is this person doing this? Why are you giving them the task? Why gives us context. When we can tell our team, hey, here's what I want you to do, what outcome I want, and the reason you're going to go and do this is so we can make more sales, is so we can get more leads, is so we can create more humor for our audience. I'll give you an example. If we had briefed someone to write a social post caption or something, and we said, hey, I need you to go and write a social post that is around 100 words. It's going to go on Facebook. I need you to brief the designer so that they can create a compelling image that will go with it. You know who our target market is. Here is the recap of who that is. You'll find them in this link. This is who we're writing for. Let me know when you're done. Okay, so it's a pretty good what. What we haven't given them is why, though. We are doing this so we can get more leads. If we said that, I would change the call to action that I have on that post that I'm writing to come and get our free thing. Contact us here. If the why was to make more sales, at the bottom of that post, I would be linking to something they can buy straight away, or linking to a book or call page. Or if the why was to nurture and engage with our audience, I would ask a question at the bottom of that. I would encourage the audience to speak back to me, try and create some conversation. The image that I used would be different. Why can change everything, because you know what your concept is in your mind, but your team doesn't. And we are all individual people. You'll use a certain word and it means one thing for you, it will mean a totally different thing for me. So that's why we need to combine the two. The what and the why are your Batman and Robin. They will make your briefing so much better if you use them together, even when you can't be bothered. Trust me. Okay, then we want to think about what is mission critical. We want to think about the priority in what we're giving people, and we want to communicate that. We want a way for people to be able to look at their workload and go, I know this task trumps this one. I know this is more important than the one that is 3 levels above it. And here's why. We need the clarity, and we need to give our team that priority gauge. We need to tell them what matters, and we need to give them tools to differentiate what matters on their own. Hey guys, our business is all about creating an impact on our customers first. So if we have lots of customer queries sitting in the inbox, answer them before we reply to new sales requests. Our existing customers are always more important. That is why we are here. We do those first, then we tackle our new sales. We do that first, then we tackle, requests for podcast appearances. That's just one example, but having some guidelines for our team to follow so that they know what the priority is will make your whole system work more productively. We're working smarter. If we know that the designer only comes in on Thursdays and our team knows that, then the person who is the head of our content creation needs everything together for the designer before that Thursday. The copy can wait until Friday because the copywriter is here 5 days a week. But the designer, we have one small window. We need them to understand the priorities so that they can manage their workload better. And we keep everybody working in a systemized manner more effectively, and we get more done. We get more done to a higher standard, which is even better. So thinking about what matters and the priority, tick. The next thing is the plan of attack. How are we going to go about what we are doing? When we are planning with our team, when we're concepting things, we want to feed in what our process is going to be, what the how will be. How is this going to roll out? What is this going to look like? What are our options here? And where we have avenues where we can take 4 different pathways, how do we work out which one to take? Let's do that bit together. Otherwise, we get to that part and we freeze. Guess what? When we are frozen, nothing gets done. We are standing still, waiting to know which step to take, or overthinking because we're confused or a bit lost, or because we know, well, I could do it this way or I could do it that way, and I don't really know how this was meant to pull together. What is the plan of attack? If I know that I have 2 campaigns coming up really close together, how are we going to manage this? Do I have other team members at my disposal? Are we going to get some more help in? Do I need to work extra hours? What's our overall approach here? Do I follow the normal process? What's the plan of attack? Give your team the opportunity to think about these things, to discuss them with each other, to discuss them with you, to come up with their suggestion and bring it back to you to go, yep, that sounds great. Off you go. Have the pieces in there so there's less guesswork when we get to every step. Your team will be far more effective. Communication on repeat is so important when it comes to your team. And you need to have some rules around how you communicate. If you communicate with your team on 20 different channels, and we use Facebook DMs, and we use Instagram DMs, and we use Slack, and we use WhatsApp, and we throw Voxer in there if it's for a client thing, and we use email, plus we have 7 different email addresses. Guess what's going to happen? Things are going to go missing. People are going to feel confused, and you're going to have disjointed conversations, which is the worst. When you are having the same conversation in multiple places and we come back to look for context, we cannot find it. And the amount of time that gets wasted with people trying to find the information they need, or where did we talk about this? Oh, here it is. Well, actually, no, that's only the first part of the conversation. Where was the middle part? What was I meant to do? Hang on, didn't this decision get changed? Where did it get changed? We need the rules and the guidelines, and then we need to follow them so that our team is clear. Everyone is on the same page. This can look like having one core communication tool. Slack, WhatsApp, Voxer, pick your tool. It can look like having a project management tool. This is where all the tasks are. Communication about that task happens on the task card. It doesn't happen in email, because guess what? If I'm sick and I'm the only one that has access to my inbox, I can't look in there. No one else can see what I've been talking about. If it's on the task card, anybody can find it. So be clear on how and when your communication happens. Check-ins. This does not always have to be you. If you have, a fairly large team, you might have, some senior people in your team who check in with the junior people, and you might check in with the senior people. But the idea is to set aside some time to check in with the different people and say, hey, how are you going? How are you finding things? What are you loving? What can you see that needs improvement? What do you need my help with? What would make you be able to do your job better? Have those check-ins. They do not have to be extensive, but what you want is an opportunity for people to be able to freely discuss what they're seeing and how they're feeling. Do they feel like they're valued? Do they feel like their performance is fantastic? Do they feel like they're drowning a little bit and they don't know who to ask? Plug those holes before they get bigger and explain to your team how this is going to happen. Once a month, we're going to sit down, we're going to spend 15 minutes talking about this. These are the 3 things we're going to cover. Think about them before you come. These things don't have to be big, long processes, but it's important that they're in place. So give it a go. See what happens. What I think will happen is it'll give you clarity and insight, and you'll be able to make quick changes to improve the productivity level in your workplace, and you'll see the accountability and responsibility of your team rise. This is what creates ownership. And then the final thing is praise. Praise your team more so much more so than reprimanding them. You will catch more flies with honey than you will with vinegar. My husband tells my children this all the time. And it's true. If they come up to me and say, please, Mum, can I? I'm so much more inclined to give them what they're asking for than if they sit there and they yell and they scream at me. It doesn't change the bigger that we get. When we reinforce positive behavior, more positive behavior comes. When we focus on negative things, and that's the majority of what we focus on, more negative things come, because that is what we're highlighting. That is what we're honing in on. And all we're talking about is all the ways you've done it wrong, even if that's not necessarily how we meant it. If we don't have the praise to balance out constructive conversations, we leave our team feeling wobbly, feeling unsure. And we don't want that. We want confident people. We want to give them the skills and tools they need to be productive and effective, to feel like they are included. And that's it. Those are the 8 simple steps if you want to boost the productivity in your business by managing your people better, by getting your team to work cohesively. You will get more done in less time, and you will have so much more fun doing it. So I hope you found this helpful. Please send me a DM and let me know. I would love to know what your top takeaway is from this episode. And if you're going to try any of these things, let me know those too. Thanks, guys. I'll see you next week. Loving the Audacious Empires podcast? Drop into our DMs at Audacious Empires and say hi. We'd love to get to know you better. If you're finding these episodes useful, don't forget to leave us a 5-star review. Thanks for tuning in. You are why we're here.